Today, I'm going to show you a tool that all teachers love because it's really easy to use and makes a big difference to your classroom. Now, before we get started, has this ever happened to you? Okay, so let's check the homework from the other day. We'll start with question 1. Anyone know the answer to question number 1? Pedro? Perfect, Pedro, very good. Let's go to number 2. Number 2, anyone? Number 2, Pedro again. Very good, Pedro. Perfect. Let's go to number 3 now. Number 3 was a bit easy, I thought. Anyone know the answer? No? Pedro. Very good, Pedro. That's the correct answer. Let's go to number 4 now. Anyone gonna answer that's not Pedro? No, Pedro. Yes, very good, Pedro. That's the correct answer. Let's go to number 5 now. Anyone gonna answer? It's gonna be Pedro again. Pedro! Now, I'm sure you've all been in this situation before. We have one student who knows all the answers, but you want to hear what all the students have to say. So this tool is going to help you. So let me show you how it works. We just pop the students' names on the right-hand side, and you press the middle button to spin the wheel. This chooses a student, which you can then either close by keeping the student on the wheel or remove by removing the student so that that student is not chosen again. Now, you probably noticed, apart from the fact that I've been teaching the Goonies in my class, that the wheel was very quick. So I'm going to show you how you customize that and other things now. Before I forget, I've got 10 wheels that I'm going to share with you, and I'll explain how I use them in class for activities with my students. So to begin customizing a wheel, just click up here. We can start with changing what happens during the spin, for example, the sound or the music and the length of the spin itself. After the spin, we can change the sound that we hear, and we can also add a question or a message. I like to put questions like this: how are you today? To which the response is, I'm fine, thank you, and you? Or what did you do at the weekend? And for this question, students usually say, teacher, I did nothing. We can also change the colors and change the image in the middle of the wheel. Before you continue, I recommend making an account on the website by clicking on either open or share. This way you can save your student lists for the next class. We've seen how it works now, so let's get to the part you're probably most interested in, which is how we can use it in the class. We'll start with my first idea, which is based on story cubes. The way this works is that you are asking the students to use any of these elements to create a story in class. So for example, we have the world, keyhole, and a magnet. So for example, a student could come up with a story like a treasure was trapped somewhere and they had to use the magnet to open the door. And the door, no, that doesn't work. For example, a student could say he was traveling all around the world looking for a treasure inside a secret room, but the secret room was locked. And he had to use the magnet to open the door through the keyhole. And inside the room was the treasure he'd been looking for the whole time. Not bad. The second idea is really simple, just placing images in the wheel to review vocabulary from various units in your coursebook. The third idea is when I have to cover or I'm teaching a new class and I want the students to introduce each other. So I put the students' names into the list and I ask the students to introduce another student by saying 3 things about them. If they get all 3 things right, I give them a point. Idea number 4 is with famous people on the wheel, and the students have to spin the wheel and choose a famous person to say 2 true things and 1 false thing, and the other students have to guess which 2 are true and which one is false. Oh, I didn't think I'd have to see that guy's face again. Idea number 5 could be using the review activity we saw earlier with the transport, but the students have to produce a sentence that is in the target language of the class. So for example, past simple, and students would have to create a sentence using bus, train, or plane in the past simple. So for example, yesterday I took a plane. Idea number 6 is a wheel of numbers, and what I do is I ask the students to spin the wheel, and whatever number they land on is the number of sentences they have to produce in the target language of the class. That would have been a very lucky student. Idea number 7, when I'm doing role plays with my students, I sometimes find it difficult to assign the different characters to the students, so I leave it up to the wheel to choose. Idea number 8 is something I've been trying recently, which is some kind of democracy in class where the students have a say in what we do. So I assign in the wheel different activities, and we get to choose 3 of the 5. Idea number 9 is when I'm assigning students responsibilities in my class. Things like cleaning the board, writing on the board, taking attendance, and I let the wheel decide whose responsibility is it that day. Idea number 10 is I let the students spin the wheel and choose an activity we're going to do at the end of the class. So anything between Kahoot or quizzes or something more simple like Pictionary. How about that? 10 ideas on how to use NameWheel in your classroom. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you liked the video, then please subscribe, and I'll see you next time.